Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching The Orbital Children, a new anime released on Netflix that was directed by Mitsuo Iso. Now, if that name doesn't sound familiar, I'll give you the skinny. Mitsuo Iso was a freelance animator who has worked for several major animation companies throughout Japan, and has basically contributed a ton of excellently animated sequences over the years, including the first half of the tank battle from Ghost in the Shell, to Asuka's battle and End of Evangelion, to even the animated segments of Kill Bill. Now, this film, The Orbital Children, happens to be set in the year 2045, where AI and technology has increased significantly, and where children are basically allowed to go into space in order to find this boy named Toya and his sister Konoha, who are two. Well, actually, she's not his sister; she's his childhood friend. But basically, there are two children who were born off Earth, and therefore they have quite a different viewpoints when it comes to the Earthlings that are happening to meet them, which includes a viral streamer named Mina, her little brother Hiroshi, and a justice-seeking boy named Tayo, who doesn't exactly get along with Toya when they first meet, especially considering that his AI drone is is one that has had illegal modifications that have been happening to it. But when a certain incident occurs with a comet rocking towards Earth, and with the space station going offline, it's up to the kids to try and find a way to get back to the people who are running this little space colony. Well, it's more like a space hotel, and to try and find a way to save the human race while also finding out about the various writings and thoughts of a extremely intelligent AI known as Seven. But that's all I'll say about the story. The story here apparently was made through two animated films released in Japan, and the Netflix version basically happens to turn the movies into six 30-minute long episodes. But it actually works out pretty well in its favor, because the pacing throughout does make it still feel like it's a good, short, little animated series, and it happens to be fit both a ton of comedy and a ton of philosophical thought points into the proceedings. That's not to say that it bombards you with philosophy or bombards you with comedy at every opportunity, but it feels like it paces them out well enough to the point where it knows when to be serious and when to be funny. Even if some characters like Mina feel like they're mostly there for comedy, and some characters like Toya feel like they're mostly there for the philosophical pinings. That and a secret antagonist is thrown into the second to last episode that feels like it was a plot twist that could have had a little more build up, but considering how this character acts and how this character goes about her business throughout the first few episodes, some some people could see it coming a bit earlier on than expected, but at least it's a twist that actually does make sense, and you'll know it when you see it. Not only that, but I was really interested in most of the AI characters. Not only do they happen to fit into the description of, the logical thinking AI versus the more emotionally minded humans, but they also happen to talk about the levels of intelligence that AI can get to in the future. And since it takes place in 2045, it is quite possible that an AI like Seven, that the one that they keep referring to, could reach a level of intelligence that could transcend most AI standards. It's really interesting to see someone like Mitsuo Ito who's allowed to go into a world that's not only beyond his imagination, but also into a world that feels like it could happen in our near future, especially if innovations in space travel continue to expand. So not only that, but the animation is not only very well done when it comes to the character designs and character animation, but I really, really like the zero gravity effects that they go for, and how the CG is used to not only create a more believable space environment, but how it also happens to make the space station look genuinely like something that it makes it genuinely look like a space hotel that would house a lot of people in another circumstance. It adds to the world building rather than taking away from it. So yeah, The Orbital Children is genuinely a pretty good Netflix anime that I do hope people enjoy. that's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. See you next time.